On January 28, 2012, somebody under my home shot me with burglar alarms going off in the attic and my phone lines cut. This forced me to crawl out on my hands and knees. That was my only chance of survival. My front security cameras recorded this at 10:42 p.m. It was a miracle that I'd survived after my murder was planned in advance. I took a screenshot of the video. This is the video of me crawling out. And it's time stamped right there at 10:42. Okay, so we know for a fact I'm shot with my, the reason I crawled out is because my phone lines were cut, or I would call for help. I later found proof of many other homeowners reporting people in the attic. Remember, I said I was reporting people in the attic I said that burglar alarms were going off the attic. I later found proof of many other homeowners reporting people in the attic, with more than a dozen here in Midland and more than 50 across the nation. Also another dozen over plus in Odessa. Obviously, there are many other homes that I don't know about. This was a big miracle. I played this many times. I'm just going to start it and play a little bit of it. Carlsbad, New Mexico. In the attic. Midlands. See, I just happened to overhear these on my police scanner. The police and the press have been hiding this from the public. Odessa. This is going on all over the place. There's another one, Odessa. I think somebody's in the attic, and it goes on and on. That's only half of it right there. But I just want to show you, I'm shot with burglar alarms going off the attic. Now I found all kinds of other homeowners reporting people in that. I think it's human trafficking. 19 minutes later, at 11:01 p.m., the first two police are seen arriving at my home. They had spotlights on and were looking for me. We now know the first one was Martin County Sheriff John Woodward, and this is Midland County. He was not dispatched, and his name had been illegally omitted from the police report. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Woodward was followed by the late Sheriff Deputy Mike Naylor. He died in 2014, supposedly in the line of duty. He was also not dispatched, and his name was also missing from the police report. It took 6 years and a $2,000 reward to get them identified. This is also from the security cameras, and it's a screenshot, and it shows when Woodward and Naylor first arrived. And the video shows them, showing up with their spotlights on. And I 100% believe they were looking for me, and if they had found me, I would be dead today. Okay, because they wasn't dispatched and they hid their name from the police report. It took 6 years to get them identified. 11:01, that's when they arrived. I crawled out at 10:42, so 19 minutes after I arrived. The police report had been illegally withheld from me for 7 years. It had been subpoenaed in 2013. And it was a miracle that I got a copy of it in 2019. I give God all the praise and glory. This report is what time-stamped MPD Sergeant Matt Davis at my home 2 minutes after Woodward and Naylor were seen arriving, but they were not seen arriving on the front cameras, which hasn't been disabled yet. So it was important that the timestamps fall within the time that the camera was still working. Okay, so here's Woodward and Naylor shows up at 11:01, and here's Lieutenant Dickey in my home at 11:05. Sergeant Davis was in my home at 11:03. 2 minutes later, 4 minutes later is when you get Dickey inside my home, the lieutenant inside my home. Is what he said. Okay, on the police report. Since all my doors were secured with extra locks, and this proved that he came into my home from the underground entrance that the ex-wife had already told me about. MPD Officer April Chandler documented the extra locks on the police report as seen below. This was another miracle. Otherwise, those dirty cops would lie once again and say they had came in from another door besides the door that had the camera watching it. Okay, and here's from Chandler's report. She says, and the numerous locks and padlocks Buddy uses on his exterior doors. That's what I'm saying. All my other doors, all my windows were screwed together. All my doors were padlocked shut. Why? Because I was reporting burglaries to the police, not knowing the police were working with the burglars breaking into my home. Multiple people are now documenting saying that tunnels and underground homes are here. A previous resident of my home, Ricky Ronaldo, told me that him and his brother used to live in my home and they would go in the tunnels under it when they were kids. Gaining this knowledge and proof was another miracle. Miracle after miracle after miracle. Ricky tells me, I used to live in that house years ago. When I was a kid, there's tunnels under the house. Me and my brother would always go down there. You know, you think law enforcement talk to Ricky, but law enforcement's trying to cover up murders here. They're not trying to solve them, you know, or violent crimes, capital crimes. Okay. 11:22 p.m., 21 minutes after Woodward and Naylor were seen arriving at my home, the front cameras of my home were disabled. We saw that above. Somebody rotated them to look at the wall. That is seen in this video. And so I showed you the video, but here's the timestamps on it. Shows it here, 11:22:41, 11:22:43. It's looking at the yard, and then it's looking at the wall. They had disabled the front cameras. There was two of them on my house, or three of them, and they successfully disabled the cameras minutes after a premeditated murder attempt. And that's because they were covering it up.
Later that night at 3:16 a.m., the log files show that the computer running my bedroom security camera was manually rebooted. Like the outside cameras, this was an attempt to disable it. What they didn't know was this is what started the cameras working. This gave me the pictures of the secret police. That was another huge miracle. This was the log file from the security camera. Shows when I got up that morning and at 10:52, and that's when I started my computer, it automatically started the camera working. And then it was disabled here at 8:08. Y'all cam terminated. The killer shut off my camera in preparation to murder me. Okay, and then 3:16 a.m. y'all cam started. The police had manually rebooted my computer, and there's a Windows event log that shows that it was a manual reboot, and that was to disable that camera. And what they didn't know is they accidentally started it, and that's what caught them on camera. That's really I couldn't get the secret police identified, so I offered a $2,000 reward. This was the first time in the history of America where a crime victim offered a reward to get police identified, but no arrest and not a news story in the nation. It's unprecedented and un-American. I'm going to show you. This is one of the reward flyers that were sent. Oh, I mean, there was tens of thousands of views and videos, if not more, you know. And here we're showing the secret police on the security camera. These are the ones caught in the bedroom, and I didn't have a police report showing who they were, you know. But, you know, we figured out this was Rosie Rodriguez, that was April Chandler, just because of their faces, and it was close-up pictures. So we knew two of them were police. And 6 years goes by filled with death threats, repeated break-ins to my home, crimes being allowed by police, and many people saying, I will sell that home if I was you. They've been trying to terrorize me into selling my property while under the threat of death, which is a violation of the Hobbs Act and carries 20 years in prison. Okay, here's one guy, and there's more of them. This guy, Joseph Marlowe, said, you need to move. I see two options. You know, you either move or you meet God early. Okay, he was telling me I needed to defend myself as well. 6 years after being ambushed and shot with my phone lines cut, Empire Pride Investigations collected the reward money, identified all 11 of the secret police, and it was amazing. This was another giant miracle. That was the flyer on the secret police flyer we just saw. This is from the actually text message I copied and pasted over here, and from Stephen that was with Empire Private Investigations, and that's where he was telling me, you know, Rosie and April, they were already identified. That's what's at the top. And then there was Tony Dickey, Greg Chatwell, Greg Nelson, Marty Barrett, Chad Simpson, Mike Naylor, Mark Gilliam, Michael Glick, and John Woodward. And like I said, that was just amazing what it was, you know, because, I mean, here, Woodward's a sheriff from another county. Marty Barrett was a crime scene investigator. Chad Simpson murdered his wife, killed himself 2 months after Naylor died in the line of duty. Now two secret police are dead. Tony Dickey was inside my home, you know, here minutes after I'm ambushed and shot, and he wasn't seen arriving in the security camera. And, you know, I mean, it was just goes on and on how amazing and crazy that is. 1 year after the secret police identified, it's found out there was a police report all along, which had been illegally withheld from me and my attorneys. This report timestamped 5 MPD officers, Davis, Dickey, Chapel, Angel, and L, at or inside my home when they were not seen arriving on the cameras that had seen Woodward and Naylor arriving. This was before the front cameras were disabled, which is important. This report and the security camera pictures timestamp prove that police were under my home on the night that somebody under my home cut my phone lines and shot me from under my home. Getting this report was another huge miracle. And this was the report that I got. What I did, I saw that there was this report number I didn't have on my paperwork, so I just sent in an online information request. Give me report number, no, whatever. And all of a sudden, I get the police report that had been illegally withheld from me for 7 years. 7 years, okay? But why did they withhold it? Because it incriminated police